everybody, and welcome to the latest edition of the 9 Years podcast. Thank you very much for downloading the show this week. I am Nick Draper, joined as always by the face of the BBC Sport website, Mr. Stuart Deacons, and yet again we have a win to talk about. What is going on? Don't know, can't remember the last time we had anything like this. Perhaps even as far back as 1996 with the famous 7 deadly wins. But I think we're up to 4 in the league now. Some are going to say 5. We don't count that B-team trophy. So it's 4 wins in a row. We will aim to make it 5 on Saturday when we host Port Vale at Plough Lane, and we will preview that game in full. We will also, of course, review the 2-0 win at Bloomfield Road, although there might not be that much to talk about on that score. Richard Osman Foyo's House of Games, as always, and lots of news to talk about around the club. It was a very busy few days for news. But Stu, we shall begin with Blackpool. As I said last week, Danilo Orsi, Player of the Year, just needed a bit of time and he was going to come good. We could all see what talent he possessed. Crowd were big fans already. It was just a matter of time. And there we go. All right, it was a penalty and a tap-in, but it's probably more than we were expecting of him.
Well, you know what, when we previewed the game last week, you look at Blackpool, think they're second from bottom, and they only won one game at home. I'd watched them against Luton where they'd surrendered a 2-0 lead. So I was hopeful. It was a comfortable game. To be fair, the Blackpool fans were booing before they even got in the stadium, I felt. They really did help us, on the back of their team, or more their manager. But it didn't help. It made a very difficult atmosphere for the Blackpool players, and to be fair, we were comfortable, even before the penalty, which wasn't a penalty, but was a penalty. It makes perfect sense. We were on top. I felt it was a matter of time.
Schrodinger's penalty.
Yeah, I felt it was a matter of time before we scored. And in the end, a 2-0 win was comfortable. Could have been 3-4 in the end.
I love linesmen. They are my favourite people in the world right now.
It's the referees, by the way, Nick.
Linesmen. Linos. That's what we should call them.
Yeah.
Lino. We always said it. Do you know what? I was coaching the year 9s on a Wednesday, and I did go, man on, woman on. I must remember that I'm working in an all-girls school. But yeah, Linos. Wycombe, it's been confirmed now that Wycombe have actually received an apology from the officials because they believe it should have been their throw-on and they messed it up. But a linesman kept his flag up, made sure the referee got a buzz, so play was stopped and we got given the throw-on, and apparently it wasn't ours. And then this week, linesman just went, yeah, do you know what? You fell inside the box, so that's as good as a penalty. So I think we should try just doing that all the time now. Just get within that 18-yard line and throw yourself over into it.
Yeah, do you know what? I saw that about the Wycombe getting an apology. I think it's rubbish. If I was a Wycombe fan, right, I wouldn't want that anyway, because they didn't make a mistake. They made a mistake in terms of giving the throw the wrong way, but that's a decision on the pitch. The linesman was flagging, so there's no doubt that we stopped play. We didn't, to say, it should have been your throw-in. That's not true. Well, they're going to review every decision now, every throw-in and stuff like that. It's just, I just think it's stupid. And if I was Wycombe, I'd be even more annoyed that they've admitted they made a mistake. It's done. If they're going to keep crying over that, then it's, whatever. Do you know what? It's one of those, isn't it? Momentum took Ali Smith into the penalty area, but the contact's outside. What made me laugh was I think the Blackpool defender was trying to show a mark on the pitch where the tackle started. He was trying to. It reminded me of Roland Garros when they on the clay where they say, "Look, there's a ball mark. Look, I can clearly see there's a mark on the clay." I just makes me crack up really. But the good thing was Orsi was the one that got involved. He held the ball up, get the ball into Smith. Smith doing what he does, break the lines really well, gets into the box. But that was where we were. The confidence for Smith and that and Reeves to get ahead of the ball, that was progressing all through the half. So it was just a reflection on how comfortable we were in that first half.
You say ball marks on clay. Have you been watching Ghost?
Ghost? That's an old one, isn't it?
That's Whoopi Goldberg, isn't it?
It's about 40 years. It's about 40 years old, isn't it?
Yeah, but things were better 40 years ago. They really were. Do you want me to get on one of my rants, Stu? Because I'm quite happy to go there. 2 top flight games at 3 o'clock on Saturday, 9 in total. Absolute disgrace across the top 2 divisions. But no, let's move on. Second goal, set pieces against you. Great delivery into the box. Great header by Ryan Johnson. Keeper keeps it out, but then Orsi does what all good poachers will do and is there just to side foot it with the outside of his foot in and make sure we get the 3 points. It was game over as soon as that went in.
Yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame Ryan Johnson didn't actually score with a header, but it does show obviously a threat we've got in the opposing area. Obviously, Joe Lewis didn't play, but Patrick Bauer come in, who's probably just as much of a threat in the opposition area. So again, it's another string to our bow. Outside of through it, tap in, but hey, look, it's a tap in because positionally wise, he's following the ball in. If he's on his heels, then that isn't. It always makes me laugh when I go, like, it's just a tap in. Yeah, but you've got to be in the right place. You know, let's be fair. How many goals did Gary Lineker get and Anna Shearer from tap ins? It's just being on the move. I'm not comparing Daniel Orsi to them two, but it's just a case you've got to be in the right. You've got to be following the ball in. You've got to be on the move. And that was 2-0, and Blackpool were never. I don't think they were coming back from 1-0, to be honest with you, but definitely not coming back from 2.
And that was it for Steve Bruce, who was relieved of his duties very shortly after the game, as expected. Sounds like Blackpool fans were just waiting for the defeat and waiting for then that to be the outcome of it. And Blackpool, I mean, you do look at their team, and I know they've got injuries as well, but you look at it and you go, it's going to be it's going to be a slog for them, I think, the rest of the season. And they're going to be right down in amongst trying to stay up all season long, no matter who is in charge. And I don't think there's been any decisions made on that yet, but I could be proved wrong. I will research that shortly.
It's a big decision. I did notice also in the management team under Steve Bruce was Stephen Clements, who was at Gillingham, then went to Barrow, got sacked at both places, and obviously then got sacked, left as part of the management team. So just shows you, doesn't it? It's a hard gig to keep, to keep your job at such a stage. But yeah, probably big decision for Blackpool. It does feel like the manager merry-go-round at the moment, doesn't it? We're obviously Luton sacking their manager, and from all accounts, from what I'm hearing today, Richie Wellens potentially will be going into Luton, which then leaves obviously Leyton Orient. So it's a bit of a merry-go-round. Just hope no one's looking at Johnny Jackson at the moment, because they can go and do one if that's what they are.
Johnny Jackson will have many people looking at him right now, and perhaps maybe come on to that very shortly. You are quite right. Stephen Clements, first team coach, Steve Bruce, manager or head coach, and assistant head coach Steve Agnew. Basically, if your name's Steve and you work for Blackpool, you're on a hiding to nothing.
Oh dear! Can you imagine when they just shout Steve and everyone just turns around and go, "What, me again?" But
Steve,
it was quite sad for Steve Bruce.
He hasn't heard me.
It was quite sad for Steve Bruce, really. He seems a decent enough person and stuff like that. No one really wants that sort of stuff, and you just wonder, is it probably time? It's probably someone that wants to be involved in the game, whatever level. But you just wonder, does he need? Do you need that sometimes? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Steve Bruce, though, he was from an era where footballers were kind of still at the top flight. They were kind of still living in the same world that we live in, making decent money, but they weren't making money that was going to set them up for life before everything exploded and went crazy. He was also English, and he captained the champions of England, who were mainly English. Strange times. Seems
Premier League
world away now.
Premier League winner as well. It's it's sad. You're right. You wonder sometimes, like, from managers who, like, in the current era of managers who probably have got enough money to not do anything. Frank Lampard, Wayne Rooney's of this world. Frank Lampard, to be fair, surprises me how well he's doing at Coventry. So he's also got something about him. But yeah, he don't really need to get up in the morning and worry about whether he's going to get sacked or not, does he? So yeah, I imagine Steve Bruce might be trying to find another job, but yeah, it's a difficult one.
Frank Lampard used to play for Chelsea. I hate Chelsea, therefore I hate Frank Lampard. But I don't actually hate Frank Lampard. I mean, he played for England. He shouldn't have done. We sacrificed Paul Scholes to get the best out of Frank Lampard. It will always bug me forever. If you put Owen Hargreaves in, you'd have had a much better shape, more natural, sort of square pegs in square holes, as the old saying goes. But Lampard had to squeeze in somehow, and it just didn't work. But what I will say is that Chelsea, if you're going to have someone to look up to and treat as a club legend, you'd probably better off choosing someone like Frank Lampard as opposed to someone like John Terry, who is just one of the worst human beings to have ever lived.
I know it does make you crack up when you look at it. Do you know what I mean? Like on the pitch, yeah, good footballer, led by example. Off the pitch, didn't lead by any example, just his own.
Yeah, just his own ego. Anyway, we are way off topic, but there isn't a great deal much more to say about the Blackpool. It kind of, as much as it can be in this division the way we are at the minute, kind of a routine win for us, very, very comfortable. We will take that all day long, of course. So we are now up to 5th in the table. Who had the best week overall for you, Stu? I laugh because it's obvious.
Well, it's Daniel Horsey, isn't it? Although you could say I could move Foyo into the having a good week because he managed just to get a month suspension.
True.
When it could have been a lot. So he's been in my bad part because he's basically just don't know he's in limbo, and now the FA have decided to wake up and give him a month suspension. So I probably would say it's a toss up between them two.
Worst week is probably going to lead us on to injuries because you have to say Matty Stevens, perhaps.
Joe, I'm going to say the worst week is Omar Begill, right? Because he misses a one-on-one, doesn't pass to Jake Reeves, who is his driving partner. And I noticed Jake was trying very hard to not swear and throw his arms around. And then Omar decides that he had a hamstring injury at the end of it. Like, Omar, come on. Like, you never got to fake a hamstring injury when you've missed a one-on-one and probably haven't sent it to your good driving buddy, Mr. Jake Reeves. So I'm just going to be picky and just say Omar didn't have a good week because he should have squared it.
9YRSpodcast.org. We do the Tuesday updates every, and this will shock you, Tuesday. And my comments on this, I referenced the injuries that perhaps are starting to build up in the squad. I did say we have no word if there is an issue with Omar Bugle other than one of mild embarrassment at missing a good chance.
Do you know what? It's not missing a chance isn't the big issue. I think it was just the fact that he could have squared it. Jake has made, and let's be fair, right? That is what, the 80th minute, 85th minute, and Jake Reeves is busting a gut to get into the area for a tap-in. But yeah, I just found it funny of Omar. It reminds me of day of Lara Taylor. Of like Lara would go down with an injury, just one to get a bit of attention. Not that Omar needs it; he gets enough attention. But yeah, Jake did very well to keep his cool. Probably thought I've got to travel into training with him. I don't want to upset him too much.
We are now in this awkward situation where I'm not going to put us on the list again for not playing in blue away from home when there was no need to be changed. But I just know there are going to be people listening or people tweeting us at Nazi Twitter going, yeah, but we played in green and black away and we won at Reading and we won at Doncaster and we won at Blackpool. So it's a lucky kit. So we have to keep wearing it, which is just absolute nonsense. But you know what? That's what people are going to say now. So what's our next away game? Plymouth. Oh, well, would you believe it? Plymouth is next. No green and black away at Plymouth. We might even be able to play in blue. We don't have white.
Do we not? What's our first kit?
No.
Yellow.
It's that really
white. I get confused with colours.
Yes, it's that yellow kit, which I imagine we're going to wear, but yeah.
We don't normally play in blue against Plymouth, do we? I remember like years ago we wore our maroon kit down there when Jack Mitchell scored.
The first time we did. But you know what? We have played in blue down there because we won there the year of the 3-point deduction for international clearance certificates. Kwesi Appiah scored when we played in blue that day. It's perfectly acceptable to play in blue against Plymouth. Someone's going to tell me no, it's not, but it is. So, yeah.
Well, let's say we play in blue, but we've got to get Passport Vale first.
We do. Before we look ahead to Port Vale, actually, should we just go and look around the third tier as a whole? Let's just stick on injuries there, because we mentioned Matty Stevens then. Apparently, well, do you know what? So he definitely was injured from the Blackpool game, because otherwise he would have played. No doubt about that. But Johnny Jackson has just prior to recording come out, Stu, and given an update and intimated that he is going to be out for a little while. But Stu, he's also said that Joe Lewis is going to be missing as well for the Port Vale game. I don't believe a word of it. Okay. I only say this because we've had this in the past where we've gone, yeah, such and such is out. Last week we had, yeah, Joe, we're hoping he's going to be fit for Blackpool. Didn't get in the squad. So was he ever likely to? I don't know. Bit of trying to throw a red herring in there now. Now this week we come out and say, despite the fact we thought he could be back last week, this week we've come out and said he's definitely not going to be here this week. I'm kind of like, do I believe that? And how long is Matty Stevens actually going to be out for? So basically, whatever injury updates we now get, there's no point because I don't believe a word of it.
But I like the red herrings. I'm not, there's no point going to Port Vale. Yes, this is the squad we're going to play. I don't mind having. I know there's been some discussion in socials that Johnny should be giving us a true team news because is it because well we're the fans, we're the owners, so we deserve to know everything? Well, no, I don't mind a bit of shithousery and just keeping Port Vale on their toes a little bit. I don't mind it, to be fair.
If what he says is true, though, we go into Saturday, and we'll talk about more later, obviously, with Stevens with a hamstring, Hackford with a hamstring, Joe Lewis out, Johnson international duty, Hippolyte international duty. So the squad is going to be tested.
Sorry, I'm just watching the England Wales coming out of the tunnel, and they're all with mascots now are getting taller, aren't they, and everything like that. Well, now the mascots are getting older. Obviously, there's the Alzheimer's Society is all blazed across there. I was going to crack a joke in there, but I'm not because Alzheimer's isn't a nice disease at all. Or is it a disease illness? I don't know what it is, but it's not very nice, is it? But yeah, basically, I think the average age of the mascots is probably going to be around about 250. But good on the FA for doing that. Sorry.
Did you say the average age of the mascots?
The cumulative age. Yeah, the cumulative age. It just makes me laugh now when mascots come out and they're taller and bigger than the players that they're mascots for.
Well, yeah, I had to ask you about this one because you started that by saying mascots are getting taller these days. I'm thinking, is that it's been scientifically proven? Is this a study that's been made?
But no, obviously it was like the FA doing some sort of thing with the Alzheimer's, which is great. But yeah, it just makes me crack up. That's all. Anyway.
I'm going to do a poll on Nazi Twitter. Are mascots getting taller or are footballers getting shorter?
Yeah.
Who knows? But yes, but injuries, you just have a little bit of a worry, Matty Stevens, if it's a hamstring tear that might keep him out for a little while. I'm guessing this is something that happened in training, perhaps. And we don't want to we did so well sort of reducing training ground injuries, but it seems like we've now got Hackford and Stevens suffering something or other that's going to keep them out for a little while.
Yeah, I don't think Johnny's mask. I don't think Johnny's playing this one. I think it looks like it's a serious injury. You got to think if it was. I always think if he's out for a few weeks, that's not so bad. It's about a month. When they say he's going to be out longer than that, you're looking 2 to 3 months, aren't you normally? So yeah, obviously Daniel Horsey comes in. Hackford, Johnny said that he's done a fair bit of rehabilitation stuff, but needs to join in training today and tomorrow to have a chance. I would say it's unlikely that he's going to be in the squad. So it's really down. Good thing about it, we've got a squad. So Daniel Horsey can, keeps his place. Omar keeps his place. Marcus Brown, obviously, he's trying to work his way in. Maycock. There's loads of, there's competition for places now. So we did say that our squad. We built a squad. We did say we will get into a position where we're going to see how good the squad is and stuff like that. And we're starting to see that now.
Elsewhere in the third tier, what results from last weekend caught your eye?
And there was a couple. Wickham 2-2 against Barnsley. Wickham scored 2 in the last 5 minutes to get a draw. Stockport at Huddersfield. Stockport were down to 10 men. Huddersfield hitting a little bit of a rocky patch for them, not massively. And of course, Stevenage comfortable winners against Luton, which meant the end of Matt Bloomfield. Bloomfield? I don't know. It was Matt B.
Matt B. Yeah, Bloomfield. Yeah, so sacking at Bloomfield Road and then Bloomfield sacked at Luton. We did say last week if Stevenage were to win that game, Luton have now got 2 weeks off. They played in that stupid B-team trophy in a week. That doesn't count. But they had 2 weeks to sort themselves out and get someone in, which you said it sounds like Richie Wellens going in there. So yeah, saw it coming. We talked about this at the start of the season. I know you weren't as convinced by him. I think for me, I just thought, and Wellens is as good, to be honest with you. I just thought Luton coming down the way they had two consecutive relegations, what you didn't want to do is do something silly and put someone in charge. Some of the names that have been mooted, like a Jack Wilshere or someone like that, do you know what I mean? Someone that they think they've tried someone new and then they start to spiral even further. They're stable. They're stable in the division. Now they want someone to actually just kick on now and get them back up into the promotion places. But there's no fear of because they could. It's happened. We see it so many times. Teams can just collapse and start falling through divisions. So at least Bloomfield kept them stable, but now they obviously want a little bit more. I don't think they're going to get it. The squad is so unbalanced.
I just never felt with Matt Bloomfield that he gave me any confidence that he could stop a rot. He felt so, Richie Wellens does go in there. That's a for me a very good signing because he will go in there and not change the culture. People say culture, don't they? But they're used to losing. They're not used to winning. But then you could argue Luton were probably above their level. Getting into the Premier League. They were overachieving. But the problem you've got now is, and I don't necessarily think, I've not necessarily seen this from Luton fans of thinking they're big time Charlies. I think they're very realistic to the fact that their level probably is Championship / League One. But they've obviously going to move into a new ground in a couple of years. They've done very well financially, so they don't want to lose all that good work. But I just never felt Matt Bloomfield to me looked like a man. To me, he looks like a head coach that would just, coach the good players coming in, but it never felt like he would stop a rot. And it's proved that way. So I think be a good signing for them. And obviously Leighton Orton will be looking for somebody else.
As you said, the merry-go-round, the carousel begins. Have Watford sacked another manager? Did I see this in the week?
Yeah, but then they sack a manager most weeks, don't they?
Fuck me, honestly.
Yeah, they just give out week contracts. They don't give out year contracts now. They just give out a week contract. I haven't renewed it in the week.
Rush manager. That's what they've got going on at Watford. Anyway, right. What else do we want to talk about? Lots and lots of news this week. Let's begin. You've already mentioned the fact Osman Foyo, five match. Well, it kind of probably is actually by the end of it, but 5 month suspension, 4 of which though are suspended. So he's only going to be absent until the start of November. He might be back in time for the first round of the FA Cup, but it all depends on where that is, what day of the week we're put on for TV, for like ITV Bilge or something like that at 3:52 kickoff on a Tuesday or whatever they're going to do to us this year. But yeah, as you say, probably better than we were expecting for him.
Yeah, well, they got a full qualifying round, isn't it? This weekend.
It did indeed, yes.
And Farnham versus Sutton United is on TV Friday night, so that'd be a good one. The only thing with Foyo, I'm not too sure, is normally when they're suspended from training as well. They're suspended from all. Because remember when Ivan Tovey, he got actually banned. He wasn't allowed to train either, which I find. Well, you obviously can't train with a squad. You have to train independently. So. Yeah, depends whether So is it going to be a month or is it going to be like 6 weeks by the time he comes back and gets back into training and that sort of side of it? But the good news is it's sorted now, so we can finally now get that past us, get him taken away from the bookies. I'm joking. Obviously help him, support him, and then he comes back in to the squad. But yeah, it's just good that it's done. I don't know why it's taken so long, bearing in mind. He was suspended after he scored in pre-season. I remember he scored a few goals in pre-season against Enfield Town, looked really decent. And then the next day, the news come out.
In better news, Isaac Ogundere has signed a new contract.
Yeah.
2 years?
2 years with an option. So effectively 3 years, realistically.
Oh. Do you know what? I've been struggling this week, Stu, to think of what should the song be to start the show. And really, it's a tricky one this week. 2 more years by Block Party. It's got to be. Got to be. If it isn't, because you'll all know by this point, I've had some brain fart and gone somewhere else. But that should be what it is. But anyway, sorry, yes, Isaac. 2 more years.
Yeah, John, totally deserved. Totally deserved. Johnny was chatting in his Thursday update and was saying that the thing that he needed from Oggs was consistency. It's interesting what he actually said. He said what he also needed was, he said what Oggs is doing now is consistently playing well. You know what you're going to get every performance now with Oggs. And also he's able to dominate, not be dominated by his forwards who tag onto him. And, so what we saw many times is with youngsters is they pick on the forwards, try and match themselves up, don't they, against a weaker link. And Oggs isn't a weaker link anymore. So he's able to handle himself. So that was really good. He's only 22 years old. Mad when you think about it. Think he's older because he's been on the scene for so long. Like Jack Curry was, Jack, we felt Jack was older than what he was, but it's just because he's been on the scene for so long. So, yeah, great news. And I'm sure, we're now going to get 2-3 best years of Oggs and see where he progresses.
The best years of Oggs sounds like a fantasy novel or something like that. Or literary fiction, Booker Prize, sort of one of those sort of novels.
What I mean by that is you just feel like we normally lose players at this sort of age. Look at Jack, Jack Rodoni, Jack Curry, Avasal. We've lost players these sort of mid 20 age, but we're not, and we're also protected. If he continues to push on as he is, it protects us as an asset, as a player setting on as well. So it's good news for both parties.
Don't really have a song for Isaac, do we? Now, player songs seem to be going out of fashion a little bit, to be honest with you. Very much, they're all more team songs these days. You don't hear the old player songs as much.
No, although to be fair, I remember a lot of players have songs now, but I'm deaf, I can't hear them, or I can't understand them. Yeah, or I can't understand them. I really need to stand in. I really need to stand in the home end, or do an away game, and not be a glory hunter. Because you're right. A lot of the songs now do tend to be, team songs. You're right on that side of it. But I'm sure we'll get a song for Oggs, and everyone else seems to have one or of some sort. Obviously, some are not repeatable or for family audiences, and they shouldn't be. It's football.
Don's Trust elections results have been announced, and do you know what, Stu? Damn lies, and statistics. 23% voter turnout, but in actual real numbers, the second highest number of voters taking part in the elections. So I think your views, and I don't mean you personally, I mean everyone's views on these numbers will be dependent on where they want to go. If they're pro-fan ownership, they will go, well, 1,600 people voted. That's the second most that's ever voted in elections. If you're one of those people that wants to sell out and are not affixed to fan ownership whatsoever, you'll go, well, only less than 1 in 4 people have actually voted on these elections. So, I mean, it's a difficult one. It's even more difficult because it's harder to drill into the numbers from our perspective, because some votes were made for somebody that then stood down from election once the voting had begun. So I don't know if that's 1,600. Do you know what I mean? Because you can vote for multiple people, that 1,600 could include someone that voted for Chris Atkinson as well as Matt Thornett or whoever. Yeah, so it's hard to really drill down into those numbers. As it stands, 5 people got elected. I'll get the list up in a second. Voter turnout, has it really actually, percentage wise, yes, but that's because the membership has grown exponentially because of the season ticket bundle deal and stuff like that. So I'm not sure how much we can read into that if it's really changed that much.
Yeah, you're right. Depending on what stance the stance you have in terms of ownership, you're gonna interpret those numbers in the way you want to. I've already heard people saying that it's obviously the season holders that have been given free membership are not interested. Well, you don't really know that really, because when we had the 50.1 vote last year, the Dons Trust Board announced that actually the engagement between new fans and, let's call them historic fans, historic members, was about the same. So you can argue that the people that have been members for donkey's years were not engaged either. So it's just an easy. Like I've gone on record to say that I think season ticket holders should be members because they're committed to the whole season for quite a lofty amount. So they should. They've obviously got some interest in the club in that year. So. But I'm just glad it's done. Let's get it done. It's done. There wasn't much of an election. Look, one person missed out, which was Sam Spencer. Well done to the others. They've all got, most of them got 3-year, 2-year terms. So let's just settle back in because obviously it's a really important year for the club off the pitch.
Chris Atkinson, Martin Drake, Alex Folkes, Simon Hood, and James Ledward were the successful candidates. Chris, Martin, and Alex, 3-year terms. Simon and James, 2 years. It's kind of like a royal and medieval name, James Ledward, because it's James and Edward and 50 L in the middle. So it's like, yeah, I don't know where I'm going with that one, Stu, to be honest with you. So I'll just move quickly on. But those were the 5 candidates. The most votes, Chris Atkinson won that with 991 votes. I'd have voted for Chris Atkinson purely on his tweets when he was in charge of doing that from the club from many moons ago, especially on transfer deadline day. That was enough, to be honest with you. He didn't even need to do a manifesto or a video. I'd have been like, oh yeah, you did the Vauxhall Polo outside the Kingsmeadow main entrance tweet. I'm voting for you.
Yeah, I wasn't surprised he got on. I wasn't surprised at all. Even if there had been, 10, 12 people standing, I think he'd have got on because well known from obviously back at Kingsmeadow, working at the club and well respected and well liked. So nice that he's found the opportunity to stand with the Dons Trust Board, and he's got 3 years for the pleasure.
Not really sure there's much else for us to go there with that election. The election it's been done and dusted. I don't know if there's any more fallout from the various issues that we covered on a podcast over the last few weeks. The situation with the candidate, Shane Bellamy, that wasn't allowed to stand, if anything's actually going to come of that or whether it will just die a death. If I'm being honest with you, I feel like we still need something more to clear up that situation, clear up these election voting rules and make sure that the Dons Trust Board have these put in front of them and it's properly minuted that they have seen them and gone through them with a fine-tooth comb and have agreed them word for word. That Rule 10 does also need to be made much more specific. It is disconcertingly vague as it stands.
I would say historically it'll get buried because, and not deliberately buried, but just buried because of the Dons Trust Board always, for me, it's always firefighting. So something else would pop up. You've got 50.1 that no doubt is going to come up very, very soon. So once those new Dons Trust Board members are confirmed in, is it December SGM? I think they are officially confirmed starting January from memory.
Yeah, there's another word for it. I've forgotten what it is, but yeah.
Yeah, but it will do. It'll get buried, not deliberately, but it will just get buried. And then what it will do, it'll poke its head up again when the elections for next year, because they come very quick before you know it, they're on top of you, and we'll probably get the same. Yeah, the Rule 10 does need to be sorted. Feedback from the ESG and that sort of side of it. But ultimately, it's probably more pressing things on the horizon, obviously, with financial stuff at the club. So they will have their work cut out. So thankfully, they can move on and get on with what we need them to do.
No further word from the Dons Trust following on from the statement that we discussed last week about finances and the need to get investors in, but I am sure over the coming weeks more will come of that and we will find out in due course.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's hope we find a magic money tree just outside Plough Lane that just keeps on letting off loads of money. And only we can get it.
Are there any trees? Do you know what you're making me think now? As I walk along the Haydens Road to see the Womble Aces, do I actually see any trees? I don't know, I do. But never mind. It's a bit, let's be honest, I don't know. It's a bit of a concrete grey. Let's be blunt, Stu, it's a bit of a shitty area, really, isn't it? Immediately surrounding the stadium.
I think there are trees, but of course, trees take a long time, don't they, to grow and get bigger. And I was saying to my son the other day, where we are, we've got quite a lot of grassland and what are they called? Basically, like greenery. What's the word I'm looking for? Woods, forests,
Leafy.
leafy. Yeah. And there's where we cut through to go to Asda. There's a tree that obviously is sorry, I'm just watching England games. 2-0. Oh, international games decent. Yeah, there's a tree that's some damage, and my son was just chop it down, just get rid of it. I'm like, Thomas, that took hundreds of years to get that. Oh well, it'll grow again. Yes.
I mean, can't argue with that logic, really. It will do eventually, but the sycamore gap tree is probably not going to grow to any sort of replacement in our lifetimes.
It's just this instant thing, isn't it, where everyone wants everything to happen now. So, like, I think he's just thinking, well, the tree will grow. It won't take long, will it? Well, it takes hundreds of years to get to that stage. So, yes, there might be trees at Plough Lane, but they are baby trees. What do we call baby trees?
Plants. Saplings. I don't know. It's just not very. Do you know what it is? You're right. It's not a very green. There's not a lot of greenery. It isn't very leafy, which would get me points in Phoebe Ball. But for now, it's not particularly. There's no grass. Grass. I love a grass verge, Stu. I love a grass verge. Well, and it's gone.
Let's not forget.
I am determined to make this the most partridge episode of this podcast ever.
Let's not forget there is a living wall on the outside of the
living wall.
A living wall. It's all astroturf. But it is greenery. It's green.
Wasn't that? That was a Cliff Richard song.
Does it have to be alive for it to be green?
Does it have to be alive for it to be green? Frankenstein was alive. I guess he was green. Frankenstein's monster. Before anyone does that one to me, yes. I don't know. Who knows? Where the fuck are we going with this? Let's move on. Richard Osman Foyo's House of Games. It's not suspended. Okay, the BBC have given us a second series. We're going to carry on. Shall we get on with another game?
Yes.
This week, we've called this Correction Centre. And I'm going to read you a statement. One word of the statement is incorrect. You have to tell me which word should be replaced to make the statement correct. Okay? All right, the first one is really straightforward. You're going to get this game really, really quickly. All right, so number one, known for his aggressive style and hard reputation, Bridget Jones was capped 9 times by Wales.
Yes. Nobody with dodgy knickers played for Wales, did they? Let's be fair.
We can't confirm or deny that one. Robbie Savage has questions to answer.
So, yeah, Bridget did not play for Mr. Vinny. Do I have to say what the actual word is that should be replaced?
You have to say what word you're going to take out and with what word, yeah.
So take out Bridget with Vincent.
I don't want to take her out. That's a bit harsh. But yes, I see what you mean. I shall replace Bridget with Vincent. Yes, good. Right. Well, speaking of Wales, next one. He managed Wales and Coventry City, but Bobby Davro is best known for winning the FA Cup in 1988.
Bobby Davro, he's the best. If you've ever been to the pantomime with Bobby Davro, it's just the jokes that go over the kids' heads and sometimes over the adults' heads as well. So Bobby Gould will be, and he's also special guest at the game against Port Vale. 79 years young.
See how it's almost like we script this.
Yes.
For a reason. I know. So good. All right. Next one. Born in 1956, Callum Kennedy became best known for playing the violin.
Oh, it's Nigel Kennedy, isn't it?
Yeah.
The Aston Villa fan. Is he still alive?
I believe so. When was
he born? 56?
56, yeah. So, I mean.
Wow. I haven't seen him on TV. So you always think if they're not on TV, they're dead. That sounds really bad, but you know.
I think violins have been banned from TV. It's
just banned, full stop.
Yeah, it's public health warning. It's woke nonsense. I don't know what it's doing. Right, next one. Since 1881, there is a Wimbledon link here. Since 1881, Coney Hall has been a premier concert venue in New York City.
Oh, Coney for music.
No, you have to be more specific. No, it's a very specific, famous venue in New York City. Begins with a C as well. No.
No. Comedy.
When I say it, when I say it, you're going to know it. You're going to know it when I say it. Carnegie Hall.
And
Stu, do you know how to get to Carnegie Hall? I kind of say it, Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall?
No, Carnegie Hall. I don't know, for some reason that was really coming out wrong. But yes, Carnegie Hall.
How do you get there? Well, you've obviously got to fly to New York first.
No,
It's
just
not in
play
New
along with
York.
just play along with me. How do you get to Carnegie Hall?
I don't know.
Practice.
Oh dear. We did
Next
start
one.
talking about this is why we don't talk about Don's Trust Board elections, because we get all stupid.
Yeah, well, it's going to get even worse now, Stu. So, with reference to snorting cocaine and shagging dogs, the Birdie song has been heard at Wimbledon games since the year 2000.
It's what birdie for the champagne
Very good.
song. You're not allowed to sing that though. That's been cancelled, isn't it? The champagne
Yeah,
song.
Champagne Songs and Violins band. Finding fame as a member of Monty Python, Eric Samuelson made it to number 3 in the UK music charts with his comedy song "Always Look on the Bright Side of Life."
Oh, I can't think what his surname is. Eric.
I'll give you a
Oh,
clue. I'll give you a clue.
Sykes.
Please.
Sykes.
No, not Sykes. I'll give you a great clue for the surname of this person, right? Liam Trotter.
That's made it. No, I don't even. That's made it even worse for me. Try. He's not a pig.
It's Eric Idle.
uh, where did I
Yeah.
get Sykes from?
Bill Sykes, Melanie Sykes.
Yeah, worrying.
I don't know. I have to point out, because we're going to get complaints, because Eric Samuelson is spelt with a K and Eric Idle is spelt with a C. If you are unhappy with this one, despite the fact this is audio, so it's not visual, so it works on an audio level, but if you are still unhappy, please address any complaints to Points of View. We have 2 more of these. A fan of James Bond and Lexi, plural. Norwich-based TV and radio presenter Alan Kimball once drove barefoot to Dundee.
What?
Don't do this to me, Stu. Shall I repeat it?
Alan? Yeah.
Norwich TV and radio presenter. He gets referenced here all the time. I've referenced him on this very podcast. He's got a new series on BBC One on Fridays now.
I don't watch BBC One.
Oh man, this is like a dagger to my heart. We've got no one left listening, by the way.
Mr. Partridge.
There we go. There we go.
Oh
Right.
dear.
Last one. Tenuous references to Wimbledon, this one. Known for its plastic people and cartoon scenery, Crawley Town was first broadcast on UK television in 2004. See, Thomas needs to be a little bit older to get this one, maybe. Sporticus, does that help you out?
No.
No. I'll give you another clue.
Shell.
I'll give you another great clue. All right. Really going to help you get to the answer. Okay. Liam Trotter.
Well, he's not an idol.
No, but think of similar words. Similar words.
Trotter.
No, that's just repeating his name.
Oh, this was going so well. And
It was.
It's gone so bad. No, I don't know.
No, it's Lazy Town. Sporticus and the girl with the pink hair. I can't remember her name.
Was there? Yes. Anyway, not good. Yes. Cool. That was good. I enjoyed that. I just don't need guesses for Liam Trotter.
Yeah, I'm not going to do any more Liam Trotter references this week. We are going to move on. Port Vale, as we've spoken about, with lots of players missing for the weekend. Port Vale currently 16th in the league, Stu, but you know what? They are unbeaten in 4. They are unbeaten away from home since August. Although last week they had a run of 3 consecutive wins come to an end with a 0-0 draw against Northampton Town.
Cobblers. Sorry, I'm getting.
No, it's true.
I'm losing my track of thought because it's now 3-0 to England.
Oh, jeez.
It's like England are taking it seriously
managing?
because it's the Welsh. Like, let's make sure the Welsh don't come back anywhere near us.
Who's in charge of Wales these days? Who's managing
Craig
Wales?
Bellamy.
I thought it was someone that was mentioned.
He was too big running across the pitch and taking someone out the way he's going.
Probably like a streaker at Dunstable Town. Port Vale have lost Lauren Tolai to Plymouth, so that will be next week when we have to worry about him. But they still have, Ronan Curtis and Jayden Stockley and all Ben Hennigan and the team that pretty much beat us up twice last season. What do you reckon, Stu? Are we going to make it 5 in a row?
Joe, it's difficult, isn't it? Because they were probably one of the best teams we played last year when they come down to our place. It was a really tough game. However, they were on form. Obviously, they were top three. It's different now, isn't it? You say the form side is us. So it'll be interesting to see how much we've improved. Obviously, we've got a few injuries and, well, supposedly some injuries. Who knows? But it's a tough game, but it's not. I don't think you could read too much into the 2-0 defeat towards the end of last season. I think it'd be a totally different situation. I'm reasonably confident. My thing now is let's just try and get to 10 wins as quick as possible. So 10 points. Let's just try and get 10 wins. We're on form. We should be going in there all guns blazing. And it's now a chance for Dan Horsey to really make, Stevens going to be out for a little while. So it's really important now that he starts scoring the goals.
Who comes in for Hippolyte? Brown coming for Hippolyte? Maycock coming for Hippolyte?
Brown would probably be I think Brown would probably be the one, wouldn't it, really? So don't get wrong, losing Johnson and Hippolyte for this, I'm not too sure. Port Vale got any players missing through internationals, but it's a bit of a gutter, bearing in mind the other injuries we've got. So it's, it makes it a bit more impacting. But yeah, Marcus Brown probably comes in.
So what is your scoreline prediction?
I think it'll be a reverse of the score when they come down to our place. I think we're going to win 2-0.
See, Stu, I have to say, given that we are on a good winning run, they're on an unbeaten run, I think this game has got draw written all over it.
You remember what I said? I don't think we're going to draw all season. And they
draw at some point.
They drew against Northampton, which no disrespect to Northampton, they should be scoring against Northampton.
This is true, but Northampton have been. Do you know what? They're all right. They're hard to beat. They're tricky, Northampton, this season. They're on a bit of a good run as well, So I don't think we're going to have it easy against them when we come up against them.
No, and you know what? I don't want to sound like I'm a little bit over my. You don't want to sound arrogant just because we're doing so well to start the season. So if we finish above Northampton, that'd be good because hopefully we stay up. Because definitely we're gonna. We were favourites to get relegated. We're obviously no longer favourites, but you've got to be confident. If they can't score against Northampton, I'd expect us to be able to score against them. I think it's not going to draw. It's not going to be a draw.
What other games in League One have taken your fancy this weekend?
I'm actually just looking now because I hadn't looked. Most of them are off.
Yeah, I know. The bugger all on, I know.
There's not really much.
Do you know what I picked out? Just because Orient Doncaster, just because Orient were unlucky at Cardiff. I think they dominated Cardiff and somehow managed to lose. They had so many shots. And then Doncaster, who have started well but had a major wobble and can't get a win for love nor money.
Yeah, there's not really much, is there? There is not. I must admit, I was listening to the same old Wombles, and Matt Cooper was getting really excited by the fact that hardly anybody is playing above us. So if we do win the game, it means we can go way up the table. So I can see where he's coming from because every game's near postponed. So yeah, a good thing is we're not going to have these. We're not going to have all these games to be rearranged, are we? So
no, exactly that.
Just get the games out of the way whilst we're playing well. Get points on the board. Yeah, all good fun.
Yeah, sometimes it's better to just get the game played, even if you're missing a couple of players. Just get it out of the way because you never know. You might be playing a team at a good time as well, so the injuries don't really affect you. You can pick up 3 points. I think I agree with you. We don't want a fixture pile up or anything like that because I think that has hurt us in previous seasons. I think the season we got relegated, last season time we were in this division, we really struggled actually with a load of games Saturday, Tuesday for a good month, I think, and it really did. We didn't get any momentum in that time. It was more of a negative than a positive for us. But anyway, there we go. Updates from the game with Port Vale, wherever they are, will be on Nazi Twitter at 9YRS Podcast. Other than that, though, Stu, I think that is us for this week.
Yeah, it's been good fun. Been a bit distracted.
It's been a strange one. Yeah,
watching the end game. Also, by the way, anyone watching the Traitors, the celebrity Traitors, magic.
Is magic the word? Spoiler alert if anyone's not seen the first episode, but I have done. And
yeah, I'm not.
half
I'm not
watched
going
it.
to say who's. Well, I'm not going to say anything that's happened, but let's be fair. Like some of the characters in there are great. Alan Carr. You've got no idea. I don't think he has any idea in his head what he is.
Whether he's faithful or traitor, you mean?
Yes,
Yeah.
but
There
yeah,
there are people on there that I celebrity is doing a trades descriptions in some regards.
it's. Do you know what? It's when you have a content creator now as a celebrity, it makes me crack up.
That word content is going to plague my life.
And then he was absolutely gobsmacked that Stephen Fry knew who he was.
Yeah, I know. Do you know what though? Stephen Fry has a very good agent, I think, who was just like, let's make sure you don't make an idiot of yourself or appear rude
Very
by not
true.
knowing
Yeah,
who
very true.
this absolute no mark is. Yeah, but they've got some good other people on there. Like I like Joe Wilkinson, obviously Nick Mohammed, fans of those two. So yeah,
Yeah, it's a good lineup. It's a good lineup. But I love the Traitors. I think it's such a cool. Can you imagine if we had a Wimbledon Traitors squad?
if you were to pick three of our players, who would make the best traitors in the current squad? Who would be the best traitors?
Omar,
Wow.
because he's so straight faced. I would also say Nathan Bishop. Can't really tell
Okay.
too much. He's so straight laced.
Yeah.
And Jake Reeves just because I think he'd enjoy it.
I think Jake Reeves would be good because he'd keep that straight face. You wouldn't. Yeah. I don't think he'd give anything away.
No, but I
No.
wouldn't be confident that many others. I wouldn't be confident that the rest of the squad would be able to guess who the traitors were. To be fair,
No, I don't know. Yeah, I'm trying to think who would actually. Jake Reeves definitely would make an excellent traitor. I think. I also think Oggs would be a good traitor because you can basically just Oggs would just be great at doing everything. I think, to be honest with you, I don't think there's anything that Oggs is not good at, like origami, cooking, whitewater rafting. I just think he's just good at everything.
do you know what would be an interesting traitor if they did would be Bezo. Because what would he do? If he went quiet, he's buggered. If he
Yeah,
goes even louder, he's buggered.
yeah, this is true.
But yeah, but no, if you've not watched it, Traitors is great fun. And Johnny Jackson can be the Claudia Winkleman role.
Johnny Jackson as Claudia Winkleman is something that I don't think my brain ever wants to process ever again. Let's move on very briefly, very quickly. That's pretty much us for the show anyway. So, Stu, thank you very much for joining me this week.
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody, for listening. Please keep your comments on. We do really appreciate all the comments we get, whether it be on 9wirspodcast.org underneath the post or on Nazi Twitter or just in person at a game, whatever. Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Keep on listening. Thank you very much. And we shall be back again next week. Alexa Bliss, bag first, milk last. 2 + 2 = 4. We're going to draw at some point. It's going to be Saturday.